Now I'm looking at them and thinking, oh, that's what I see on other people's channels, but the ones with too much movement kind of bother me,
Yes. Yeah.
right?
We were trying to make it fancy, and then we started going cross-eyed, and that was the end of that.
Yeah, no, can't have movement right now. So welcome, 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 Antoinette's granddaughter. The night before Easter, I'm sure people have some plans and things that they need if they're celebrating anything, even the sun moving into Taurus, right? Jen Lynn was going to join us next week.
Yeah, that was my fault, by the way. So if you're here to see Jen, um,
Stay anyway.
stay anyway.
Giblets is going to be in and out for a couple of minutes while I replenish his little, snack thing because he's staring at me and he's going to start to cry. So I'll definitely take care of that. And I want to know how everybody's feeling on this first day that Taurus, or the sun moves into Taurus, and I'll tell you a story about that.
Yep. That sounds like a Sun and Taurus moment.
Okay,
He wants more snacks.
about food, right?
Congratulations, Antoinette's granddaughter, for going to your first protest.
Oh, nice.
Awesome. There were 1,000 people there, she said. It was in Chicago, I think. It was in Chicago.
They,
Happy Easter. Happy Easter, yes. Happy Easter. Happy Passover. I'm sure there's other ones.
I think it's the end of
Happy
Passover.
spring. Right?
Hi, Cindy. I did not do any protests. I didn't see anything being advertised, and it's kind of a weird weekend because it was like threatening rain. It was rained overnight. It was really bizarre. It was 80, right? I mean, it was like, what? It was 80, and everything is starting to like pop open, just in shock, right? All the tulips and everything. Today I got out 30 degrees cooler, and the tulips are like this, or like, no, we're not going to come out anymore. It just like a 30-degree drop
Yeah.
with rain and whatever else. So I'm going to post some Easter pictures of the stuff that's blooming. I got some shots, but we'll see what's going on tomorrow morning.
We just had some tulips open up. We've had the daffodils. They're in full bloom now, and the tulips are starting to pop open. We had 2 nice days. I'm hoping that it becomes a trend instead of like 2 nice days and then a week to pay
No.
for it.
I know, and it'll snow in May. Although I think this one's going to be interesting. Is it is it Orthodox Easter also, Paula? Interesting.
Yeah. Wow. Cool, man.
Oh, okay.
So proud of Boston protests projecting amazing message on the Old North Church against the king. Yeah. I think I did see that actually. I saw a thing on that.
Tony said someone in Chicago had a giant Cheeto.
On a stick with a pin stuck in it. You sure you weren't there, Oda?
It
Come
wasn't
on
mine.
now.
It wasn't mine. I didn't. Yeah. Again, if it's local, okay. But if it's, oh my gosh, there's always something going on downtown that is sketchy these days. Honestly, if I don't know where to duck, I'm not gonna go.
Duck and cover. Duck
Yeah.
and cover.
Yeah. I had my own things going on with like
Oh,
Taurus, the sun moving into Taurus. I had texted Jen that, it's always kind of clunky for me, and like it feels like Taurus rearranges gravity, It like requires you to slow down by like just that kind of thing. And she thought it was funny, and it was funny. And then my towel hook completely blew off my bathroom wall with the paint. It's down to plaster. And I'm like, the sun just moved into Taurus, right? Just about to happen. And I had the pizza in the oven. If you guys want to check it out, look in the community page. I have a Taurus pizza for the sun moving into Taurus. Hopefully it'll be kinder to me. So I lit the money incense, attract money. I figured
That's good.
can do that. And then, we'll see. Then I'll report on all the rest of this later. How's your experience with the sun moving in?
I spent the whole day in the yard, um, just cleaning up. And it's a big yard, and there's a lot of cleaning up to do. And I nearly killed myself, but so I'm not really sure if I'm going to be able to do
Yeah.
anything productive tomorrow.
You know what? Don't. It's a lot of work. That's a lot of work.
But there's just something about, being outside in nice weather, right? And just doing just being out. It's
Yeah.
like oxygen, it's like sun, I'm getting vitamin D. I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah. I was out, I did a 3.5 or 4 mile, I guess, by the time I got home on Thursday. And then yesterday, nice long walk with Giblets. That just the temperature was just right for him to breathe okay. Me having to bring the oxygen.
I know how that is.
And today it was a little bit cooler for him. He didn't really appreciate it that much. But my God, the change has been so abrupt and a whiplash kind of way. It's just been crazy. I need to give him more kibble because he's like a bone.
Well, does he have any Taurus in his chart?
Venus.
Oh, right. That's why. Yes, we both have Venus and Taurus, and we both love food. I just make sure I eat before we do this, so I'm not screaming on my end. I'm sure he did.
This is about attention.
He's a Cancer with a Venus in Taurus. He's gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wants my attention.
Yeah, he wants his mother.
Yeah. He was sleeping on the couch. He did. He ate early. There's some people talking about it was a great day today in Chiburbs to meet some new friends. I don't even know what happened with the Cubs. If anybody has any, I know that there was a lot of traffic and there was a Cubs game today. So
I hope he's in it when it falls. I did a reading and I talked about Trump being the tower. That's his soul vibration. He has a 16/7 soul. And so he kind of is the tower. He's he really kind of does. He kind of knocks down everybody's facade and you get to see who they truly are. Most of them are criminals who are pretending to be nice people. But it's the life.
I think honestly, that was probably a very effective way of doing business. When like car sales were shady, but it's not like that anymore. That's sort of business ethic, just sort of like
the Cubs won.
Yeah. Oh, the Cubs won 6-2. Yay! They won like 13-12 yesterday, and the streets were just like crazy. It was just nuts. It was apparently a very high-profile game. So
I think there was a lot of gardeners out. For those there were a lot of protesters in the group. There are a lot of gardeners in the group. Did anyone else have a challenge with gravity today? I mean, except for the usual challenges with gravity that happen with age, if you know what I'm saying, but not those.
Tell me Taurus does not rearrange gravity. Convince me that it doesn't. It kind of does one of those things. And we've had these storms, so you start to catalog how you feel and what's going on. And
yes, these geomagnetic storms actually knocked out the electricity in Puerto Rico. The whole island went black. And they said if it had, and I guess it went towards Jupiter, so it wasn't as bad as it could have been. They say had it come towards us, then it could have wiped out even more. And somebody told me that Zoom was down, I think last week.
Really?
Yeah. One of my people, one of my clients from Chicago of all places. Chicago seems to like me. I'm sure I like Chicago. And then she wanted to know when I'm coming to Chicago.
Yeah.
So I said, this summer I'm coming to
Okay.
Chicago. So that's a promise to you and Giblets.
Okay.
And we'll do a mystic. Maybe we'll get to do a Mystic Sisters in the same room
Yeah. On the lake.
on the lake. So I just gathered I had last week's card on my altar, the Snow Queen, Endurance.
Yeah.
And I want to pick another one, but now I have to find where it is on the table, which you would think would be easier than it actually is.
I just pulled the crow deck. I'm gonna pull one. There's been a lot of activity with birds. I think and I'm sure
Oh, yes. We had a couple of bird experiences as
right.
well.
And there's always some kind of seismic thing going on. There's some kind of when they were shaken up like that.
Right. Right.
I'm not addressing this dog anymore. He's going to be a tumbler. I won't be able to put you on my lap in the morning, doggo.
I worry that you have to lift him. That's what I worry about.
Right.
Okay, I found my cards. Oh my goodness.
Tammy went to a protest in Michigan. Pam says Zoom was down on Wednesday. Wow. Interesting.
What was down on Wednesday?
Zoom.
Yeah, Zoom. Yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Antoinette's granddaughter wore a mask and a pussy hat at the thing.
Yeah, that's it too. Like there's measles and pertussis that honestly, watch yourselves. Unless they're not, a bad idea.
The only protest I saw was at the Rotary. There was a bunch of Trump people with Trump flags and a sign that says "Women for Doge." My husband saluted them. Gave him the one finger salute. Oh, is that the sun? No, that's the Six of
Wands.
Six of Wands victory.
That's good. Actually, the Six of Wands, was that yesterday? That's today.
Is it today?
Yeah, 32/5.
Well, this is a pretty intense period. Like usually a lot of things seem to happen in April in the United States.
Yeah.
We had the original, right? The shot heard round the world 250 years ago tomorrow, I think, the 20th. April 20th, 1775.
Oh.
Lexington and Concord.
Do you want me to keep going with the other cards that I pulled underneath that Six of Wands?
Sure, if you want. I'm sure people would love to know what the victory is about.
The Devil.
Ooh, victory over the devil.
The World.
The end of the devil.
The end of the devil. And it's going to come fast with news like that. 8 of Wands days. I watched myself. Actually, that's Monday. That's Monday. The 21st. Moon will be in Aquarius. Huh. Woo. I gotta chill. Okay, that's all. I would share that personally, but this is like, wow. I'm gonna share this. Ace of Cups on the bottom.
Happy, huh?
I get that for, you know what? That is also one of those cards like Wheel of Fortune that I gotta see what's going on around it, because I have gotten some emotional problems when that Ace of Cups has come up.
Well, it's big emotions.
And that makes sense, when that Ace of Cups comes up around certain other things with maybe kids that have emotional problems. So I watch that. I watch the direction that one goes in. But for this, I'm taking a good one.
Truth sister wants to know if he's dead yet. Yeah. Today was the anniversary. Yeah. Tomorrow is the anniversary of Columbine. And also the Murrow building. Wasn't that today? The 19th on the Oklahoma City bombing. There are certain like dates. April is a big one. The Boston Marathon was on April 15th. Um, and then September 11th is also a big one. Usually there's a lot of stuff that happens on September 11th, it seems.
Yeah. That one, we're very guarded around that date all forever. Right?
That was my sister's birthday. And my favorite cousin, who unfortunately is now a Trumpster. I still love him.
I have to this day and still did this today. Every time I see it, that sequence of numbers, I say a prayer every single time since that happened. And I see that number. Sometimes it's like, oh no, I gotta say the prayer. It's in my head because I'm on my way to, or like it's gonna interrupt and pass by and I'm talking to somebody and I'm trying to pray in my head at the same time. Every single time. I never missed it.
Wow.
This dog.
So I got a card. Now I have to find the book that goes with the card. Can you believe me? Can't believe myself sometimes. Just be patient with me, ladies. I was probably in the sun too long today.
It's Easter Saturday. Well, it's a good time to address maybe some of these aspects that the sun in Taurus is going to highlight, is that our physical bodies will be, slowing down and appreciating things is a good option. Right?
So you said that there was a bird stuff happening, right? You saw the bird?
Yes.
So Ona says to me, oh, there's a lot of bird things happening today. This is how we talk to each other, by the way. We text to each other. And that when she said that, we had just seen 7 turkey vultures going over us in the sky. We went down to the Cape and we went to our favorite urban and spice place that we used to go down twice a year, but now we go down 3 times a year because we use so many spices.
Yeah.
And so we saw 7 vultures in the sky. And I Googled it, because you can. Like, if I was home, I would have looked in the book, but I wasn't home. So I Googled it. And it said, have patience. And, of course, vultures are symbolic of death and rebirth.
Yeah.
So we are right on the cusp of that. Things are going to change really intensely, really quickly.
Yeah.
I think part of that is the Mars Pluto opposition.
Mars's placement, and Mars just moved into Leo. That direction is definitely putting that force out there. That feeling,
a lot of tension.
We're right, like it's right there.
And then we saw 3 turkeys.
Yeah.
and Giblets had picked a turkey card, right?
That's Sunday.
So I just picked a Mystic Sister card, and I got Raven Goddess. So let's see what the Raven Goddess says. This will be the card for the week, ladies and gentlemen. Messages and omens. Oops.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. It says the raven's mythic status across many cultures is that of a shapeshifter and a mediator between the worlds of the living and the dead. They are messages from the beyond and bearers of an omen. To have a raven's knowledge indicates an ability to see beyond what is visible to the eye. The raven is one of the wisest of all animals. Drawing this card increases your ability to pick. Oops, sorry. My fingers aren't working that well because I was raking for so long. Oh dear, where the heck did it go? I'm sorry, ladies. I tried to turn the page and I turned 3 pages. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I'm gonna have to put it down because I got to do this with my little fingers here. Drawing this card indicates your ability to pick up on cosmic symbols and whisperings. It is a subtle talent that develops over time through our direct experience. Stay open-minded and try to observe details that are often overlooked and dismissed as irrelevant. That's how I live my life. I look for omens and signs every day.
Yeah.
What's the
Yeah.
first thing I see? What's the first bird I hear? What's the first animal I see?
Yeah. Yeah. And then I say, can you confirm that, please? Like, yes, for an extra sign. Like, all right, I get it. But like, can you confirm that?
Usually the first animal I see is my cat doing the cucaracha on my head, because now the sun is up early and he's like,
Yeah.
it's time to get up, mother.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. No, Giblets. I'm gonna put you on my lap. I'm gonna get some. I can't give him any more.
Not if you want to put him on your lap. Well, he wants to be part of the party here.
He doesn't understand. He thinks he's gonna like get more treats if he's up on my lap, and then I'm gonna smell like a dog the rest of the day. And he has to look at the table. There's nothing on the table for you. Okay, there's nothing. So we'll keep him here until he comes on. But he should be sleeping. He ate early, went for a long walk. Long. Unbelievable. Which of the wild said, I saw a bald eagle yesterday in central New Hampshire. It's been my new thing since last year. I'd never seen them in the wild before. Yeah, I wrote on Wednesday, the birds are about that. And there was a falcon. I believe it was a falcon. I didn't have a chance to grab the binoculars. It could be a hawk, like a Cooper's hawk, maybe.
Right. Well, the falcons. When you go to Boston, if you look up, there's a lot of falcons in the because they like the tall buildings.
Yeah.
And they just go and they take out pigeons. So it probably was a falcon.
It just occurred to me on that same day when we were walking, the guy that empties the rat boxes,
yes,
was right in front of us. And because he walks kind of slow, we kind of I didn't figure out what he was doing. And I thought, oh my God, he pulled out a bag and it had rats. And I said, oh my God, that's the guy that collects the rats from the boxes. And I thought, oh my God, how much do they have to pay you to do that? Poor guy, that's pretty crazy work, right? He's got a key. He pulls the bag.
Do they?
And the birds were all over the place, right? Of course.
Oh yeah, they're like lunch.
Of course they were. That was the same day. But yeah, no, the falcons, it makes sense because that is what and I know they're building nests and, trying to have their babies again. The Montrose Beach bird, the Piper thing is bad.
Piping plovers.
They're like, they come back every year. They've got a name. They're protected.
Yeah, we have that in Plymouth.
They're every weekend. I don't know why they come back.
We have piping plovers nesting in Plymouth, and the people who like to go four-wheeling on the beach get mad because it's protected. And I'm like, that you go four-wheeling on a street. Leave the piping plovers alone. People are crazy.
You can't get in there. You can't feed. There's signs all over the place. It's all fenced off. Like, you could observe them, but you've got to leave them alone. And then they report about them all the time. And then they lost one. Every year there's something a little bit different that happens. This whole area is kind of a bird sanctuary. But that day, it like made sense that they were emptying the rat boxes. And
I had a weird bird experience today. I was out early this morning, because the cat wanted to get up, and I'm looking, and these birds that look like cormorants, they had the long necks, and I'm like, it's my yard. I think these can't be cormorants, right? We have them in the ocean and around here, but I've never seen them in the yard. And so I have this thing that tells you what the bird sounds are.
Yeah.
So I couldn't really tell what it was. I knew it wasn't a normal bird. There were two of them. And so I was watching them, and then I was watching the thing that records the bird sounds to say what birds they are. And they were wood ducks. I've never seen wood ducks. in the yard before. Like we don't have any water here. We don't have a.
There was water somewhere.
Oh yeah, yeah. We're in. Well, there's wetlands in the back, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Like I've never seen that. I
Wow.
was like, ooh, that's important. I should look up the spiritual meaning of wood ducks.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really interesting. I see that. I know the birds are all making nests and stuff. The robins are crazy all over the place. There are people that are landscaping some of the property there. It was my manure thing last weekend. Not even this building or the one next door. It's like down the street, but it was windy. And there was these like manure flies. The birds are loving that. They're all over those things. So I know it's a really robust time for them. But this like sun and tourist thing makes me feel like we should pay attention to them more because they are good predictors. And I know the Native Americans use the birds as predictors of what the earth is trying to tell you to do.
Right. Right. I've been counting crows for 30 years. They've got me out of a lot of tickets. I'll be driving down the highway, one crow goes over in front of me. I
Yeah.
slow down like automatically, and then I turn, and then there's a cop. So
Yeah.
it saved me from a couple of tickets. Not that they might not have given me a ticket because I was so charming back in the day. Now I don't drive fast enough to get tickets. But back in the day when I had my little Acura and I wore a leather jacket, I was really
Yeah.
cool there for a while.
I always kept a stethoscope in my car. I
Yeah.
had one that I used at work, but I had one in my car in the back seat as my card. That was my get out of jail free card right there.
Yeah.
You look in the car, you see it.
Yeah. Well, you got to use all your tools.
Yep, it worked. It worked. And I wasn't like, it was just like stupid stuff that I always did. Thank God I don't have to do that anymore. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to get the dog some more feed here.
Wendy, I'm sorry. This is the anniversary of her friend Penny crossing over from breast cancer.
At 419. Somebody said, yeah, it's 419. I know, but it's so like the anticipation of Easter, and it doesn't feel like it though.
I'm amazed that we're more than halfway through April. I don't know how that happened.
I think we're, what, when we talk about this and you reflect on it, you're like, yeah, that's right. It is going by fast. I think these timelines are just speeding up.
Yeah. And we're on the Starship Enterprise.
Kind of. And we say it like things like that when people get older, but I hear this from everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got to be something is accelerating.
Well, we don't really get a whole lot of time on this planet. We get a lot of opportunities, but we don't get a whole lot of time. And we have to make the most of the time we have because you just don't know.
Right.
We could just wake up tomorrow and be in a whole different reality.
Yeah.
Possible.
I hope so. The one that we've been kind of praying for,
Well, we are the people we've been waiting for, folks. So.
Yep. Christine says the hummingbirds have arrived in New England. Is it early for the hummingbirds, Christine?
No, they usually come around now. I thought I saw one the other day, and I'm like, well, I got to get something out because they like nectar, and there's no nectar. You gotta put the feeders out for them in the beginning.
Exactly. Where do they go all winter? They're so
Mexico, tiny. South America.
So they're up there, and this is about the right time. That hasn't changed.
Yes, yeah, they usually come in April. What usually comes now is Orioles, and we haven't heard the Orioles yet.
Interesting. Monarchs are on the decline in the Midwest. Definitely around here. The swallowtails are. I should go to the Notabart Nature Museum. The butterfly exhibit, if they let you. I don't even know if they let you film stuff in there. It's pretty protected, but it's just been a visible decline of monarch butterflies.
Yeah, we had one year that they were everywhere, and then for a couple of years, no. But it's got to be climate change, and the monarchs are only in one place in Mexico. So, like
Yeah.
that's where their its breeding ground is. So if that something happens there,
Yeah. Hit that like button. Thank you, Paula ZT. Oh my gosh. So this has been an interesting week. Not too many like crazy things happened, right? Everybody's doing okay.
lots of legal stuff came down. The Supreme Court said no. I think it was the Supreme Court 7-2 said no, do not send anybody anywhere
Yeah.
until further notice.
Yeah. Good. Well, that's helpful. That's helpful.
It's helpful if he listens. It'd be foolish for him not to listen. Why, like
Well, he's in contempt of court if he doesn't, but he's set up to be in contempt of court. So let's see what happens. Probably nothing. Just like every other time, right? People just like in the code. Yeah.
oh yeah, the an owl on her banister of her deck. She's never had that before. Yeah, that's Athena. That would be interesting to know where Pallas Athena is in your chart. And of course, Pallas Athena is symbolic of government. She is the goddess of the government.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Christine said narcissists make their own rules. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Yep. So, but they always fail. They don't make good rules, right? Oh, was Vance? Sandy says, I just read the Pope refused to meet with Vance.
oh yeah, I heard that.
Is he in Rome? Why is he there?
Why is Vance in Rome? I don't know, to piss more people off. I don't know. Every place he goes, he pisses nobody likes him.
And I mean, said no.
We don't like dumpster fire, but there are people that do. I haven't met a single person who likes or talked to or heard anybody say anything,
Yep. I didn't know he was going to Rome. Is this for some kind of Easter thing? And the Pope isn't even going to invite him to the party? Wow, that's pretty. That hurt. That hits home. That hits home, Vance. JD pissed off of China. Yeah, he pisses everybody off.
Yeah, I heard there was a guy who went to Yale. This guy, he was in China. I mean, he's Chinese. He went to school in America at Yale, and he said he went to my alma mater, but I was there 20 years ahead of time. He was talking about the peasant thing, and he said, I want you to know that there are more people in the cities of China than there are people in the United States. Or like it was just like the amount of people in China compared to us. He's like, it's I don't know. It's this idea that you're the smartest person in the room, and every time you open your mouth, you show just how stupid you are.
Oh, somebody said the Pope sent someone to lecture Vance about how he's not being Christ-like about the deportations. Yeah, nobody's going to meet with you. See, we're just like falling all over ourselves with this stuff. We just make it worse he can't smooth things over. He isn't going to make everything okay. He's a moron.
It's like he's trying to smooth stuff over with, well, I guess sandpaper. That does eventually smooth things over, but it doesn't feel
They
good.
didn't even want his wife there, and she's the nice one.
I know, she seems like a very nice. I was like, that thing that they do, like to say you're in trouble, like there's like some hand signal. I'm like, Usha, give us the hand signal.
Oh,
Remember when we used to say that about Melania, and then we realized that she was a cold-hearted bitch? Remember that?
yeah, yeah.
We had all the hope for Melania, and then we realized who we were dealing with.
So hold
But
out for she has access that other people don't.
who's that? Say again.
Malaria.
Malaria. Yeah.
Yeah. I think she has access that other people don't, and I'm gonna hold some space for her.
Oh, sorry, Jill. Yeah, it's so hard when we lose people like that. My father died on the day after Mother's Day. So Mother's Day. Oh, hello, Dookie. We gotta let wait.
Maybe Gibbets will leave.
There he is. There's Dookie. Dookie. Wookie. He really is like a Wookie.
He's a big
Oh,
dog.
it's not? I don't. Okay, I'm sorry. All right. That's enough. That's enough bum rubs. Well, that's not enough bum rubs, but you guys don't have to watch it. There's never enough bum rubs. I know, Dookie. I know. You can stay with me. He's like under the table. He's like knocking me over. He's such a big boy. If I roll out of the scene, that's because Duke is rubbing against me. We have to babysit him for a couple of days this week.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. He's a good boy.
He is a good boy.
He's a good boy. He doesn't listen that well though, and he's really heavy. He's
Yeah.
probably, I would guess, 130 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
That's big for and he's not that big of a retriever, but he's like round.
Yeah.
So when he goes, you go right with him.
Yeah. I could not handle that. I could not handle a dog that big anymore. I never had a dog that big. My shepherds weren't that big. Yeah. I know.
Gretchen was about 100 or 90 pounds, and Boo was about 110. They were big, but they listened, so that was helpful.
Yeah. Maybe he doesn't hear well.
This guy,
Yeah.
his owner's a really nice guy, but he doesn't train him.
Oh, okay.
He's just not he's not around enough. He's not
Yeah.
around enough to really be like. He's just sniffing around I think he's he's either looking for the cat. He probably smells the cat and wonders why the cat isn't there. So.
Or cheese or something.
Something. I don't have anything down here actually. Usually I have something like a little snacky thing, but nothing.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I love it. Yeah. Well, Gibbets, I think is falling down. He's going to fall asleep. He's right behind me.
Yeah, we make homemade nectar too. We use we use good water and the good sugar. Yeah, we don't ever buy the stuff with the red in it. I don't know why anybody would do that.
Why does it have to have a color to it?
Well, red attracts them.
Oh,
Red attracts hummingbirds, but we have like it's like a glass heart.
Yeah.
And it's red. And we put it in there, and then
Yeah, that's.
Then the ants come, and then you have all these ants in the water. It's a real pain, but yeah, they're beautiful though, and very territorial. They're very nasty to each other.
Yeah. Are they? Alexandria, I'm going to post this because we should talk about this. I think there's going to be more of this kind of thing. Had an earthquake in San Diego this week. I think this is all part of this strong geomagnetic stuff that's going on, and the planets are all going direct now. It's like poof, right? The very end of.
Is everything correct?
Right now, yeah.
Let me look.
Venus was the last one to go.
Excuse me a moment.
Her friend's astrologer says that Los Angeles chart is stressed out, so watch for earthquake. They always have that. That's always been a very charged up area. And
well, California has a really active chart. It's like just, it's just a very active chart. I think Uranus is in Aries or something. I don't know. It's a crazy chart.
JH says, I believe there is an earthquake season. I don't know. If there was one. I think we've made more.
Well, I think the moon's been pretty close. I don't know if they're super moons or not, but the other night the moon was real low in the sky, and that's usually when it was, it was coming down, but still it was pretty low in the sky.
That's when that happened.
Well, when that's when they're closer to the Earth, so they put more stress on the tectonic, the plates, whatever they're called.
This one.
Those plates.
Janie said the earthquake was noticeable. My office chair moved in its own, and he was strong aftershock. Native to California, it's an earthquake-prone state. Yeah. I know, but when it happens, it's what the people would say, like, oh, you're in the Midwest, you get tornadoes. That's true, but we get tornado warnings and watches, and so you're prepared for it, and it's always on. Earthquakes are like, yep, mm-hmm.
For true, everything is moving forward.
Yeah. I was in an earthquake in LA when I was a traveling nurse there in Los Angeles. And this is really just like, this is what we were like. This is why I don't drink like now. There's an earthquake, and we both ran out there. The other person I was traveling with ran out of her bedroom. I ran out of my bedroom, and we looked at each other. We said, earthquake. And we ran into the kitchen area, and we made sure that the liquor bottles wouldn't fall off the refrigerator.
You're supposed to stand in a doorway, not holding the liquor bottles on the refrigerator.
That's what we did.
Oh my God. Too funny.
That's what we did. Yeah. Well, it was like, you don't know. I mean, that. And then it just stopped. That was it. And we looked out, and there was like people like standing around by the pool, and we don't know what to do. And that was it. And it was like a 4 something.
Well, I felt 2 earthquakes while I've been here, but they were very tiny. One was I woke up, and we had a lamp with these little like dangly things, and the dangly things were doing this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's weird. Are we having an earthquake? And then I went back to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And that day we were going to a wedding, and somebody said, hey, did you feel the earthquake? And I'm like, I did. Yeah. And then there was another one just recently, like maybe a year or 2 ago, and it was real close. The epicenter was real close. And it sounded like a big bang. It sounded like the boiler exploded. Like that. It was like boom. And I was like, I went down, the boiler was fine. I didn't know where the sound came from. It was like it wasn't a shake. It was a big sound.
Ten of Swords says, watch animals' behavior. They know in advance. I do. And that's why when I see that the birds are doing something weird, I pay attention to it. It catches me. Because, I figure out,
Here's a piece of information from Geraldine. She says, there is some wisdom that you can double the sugar in your homemade nectar the first month they arrive after their migration. That makes sense. Give them the extra sugar.
New Jersey had a 4.8 last April. It says Dan the Artist. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a scary thing. And that's the difference between the tornadoes and the earthquakes is we get some kind of warning. Earthquakes don't. Yeah, I
do love Papa Francesco, by the way. Go ahead, sorry.
I lived in San Francisco, and there was an earthquake. I was sleeping, and my bookshelf was like this. And I looked, and I knew, and I jumped out of my bed, and I got in the hallway there. My roommate wasn't home. My boyfriend wasn't carrying his pager because he was in work. He was working like in the emergency room where he didn't need one that night. And I'm like, I don't know anybody here. Like, I didn't know like a lot of people there. And I'm like, there is an earthquake. If you hear about it, I'm fine. And that was it.
Yeah.
I saw the clip of the elephants in the zoo. Yes. And that is like just prior to. That's just prior to. They definitely had a pattern. I
Well,
think
that happened when we had the tsunami in Indonesia that time. They said the elephants took all the animals went to the mountains, and
yeah,
a lot of them because the earthquake and then the tsunami, and then we lost a lot of people on that. 200,000, I think, that time.
I did see a short video of somebody's cats in the earthquake and how they were reacting to it. Yeah,
Yeah,
that,
bub.
I'll take a pass. I can feel when they're going to happen. This is a feeling that occurs all the time. They're everywhere. But I never know like where it's going to be. And I used to try and track that when I get that feeling. And then it was like you can look up earthquakes every single day.
Well, I think
Every day.
it's probably always been very active. Now we just know when it's happening because it all gets recorded, right?
Yeah, yeah, right. All over the world, there's one every single day, definitely. But I think what I've noticed, and I mentioned this in the pre-show, is that I see more static around things like phosphenes. Like I'm not seeing stars. This is just what I notice. Like energy around stuff is very staticky, and there's a lot more of it. Maybe since Neptune and Aries, and that is also something that happens when you increase the intracranial pressure. So if you press on your eye,
Right.
you're going to see that, right? So I don't know what's going on. But
Well, you can also see flashing lights if you're having a migrainous
I
episode,
don't have
and
migraine.
you can have those without pain. You can have a migrainous episode without pain.
Yeah. And that might be, an Aries kind of driven thing also.
Well, yeah, yes, yes. My husband, as I was saying to you, my husband's son is at like 1.5 of Aries. And the last time something hit his son, he had a grand mal seizure.
Yeah.
That's when Uranus hit it, back in 2011, I think it was. So
Yeah.
it's
So,
crazy
you know what?
days.
I also pay attention to those things because these are things that have assisted me in looking at people's aura or noticing pain or seeing something shoot out from them or shoot into them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
When in areas with Reiki, with probably the compilation of all of the everything I've studied, how I respond to stimulus, Reiki, being a mom, like all that stuff, I'll concentrate on somebody and it's like reading their aura. And I hate to say that because I never like get permission. This is like when I'm standing in line somewhere. It just
Well, you can always ask permission of their higher self.
yeah,
You don't have to ask them permission because they'll just think you
yeah.
know.
I pay attention
We don't want you getting taken anywhere.
I pay attention to those. If they're making shapes, what color they are. If I close my eyes, is it a checker pattern? Is it that kind of thing? I pay attention to those because there is some significance in that. That's what I've been noticing a lot.
Somebody wants to know if there's anything going to happen at Yellowstone as the animals are going to the outer part of the park. I guess we
Are
can
they?
parts. That's what Shelley says. Somebody also requested or was wondering if you were doing a health spread on Donald Trump. Were you going to do that? Did you say that last week, or am I hallucinating?
We did that last week.
Did we do a health spread? Oh God, there's something wrong with my brain. I don't remember anything about.
And then I learned a lot of information. There actually was some kind of like goofy ass report that came out, and it said,
Oh, colonoscopy.
yes,
Right?
Jenlin's birthday bash. Yes, yeah, we talked about that, and now I've learned the medical summary. What a pile of crap that is. I'm glad I didn't know about that until afterwards because I got mad just reading it. It is such garbage. The colonoscopy came up in the reading, right? And that's what was, I'm like, yeah. History of diverticulitis and a colonoscopy, probably getting electrolytes IV, right? That made sense. What are we? Hey, Judith. Yellowstone. Why are the animals going to the outside of it? Is there a geyser or something that would explain this?
Well, isn't Yellowstone the one that has the caldera, the one that they say if it goes, we're all done for?
Yeah, I'm doing this totally blind. I don't know. Yellowstone. This card fell out. Six of Pentacles. Is the first card that came out.
That's a Taurus card.
It's a Taurus card, yeah. And there's also in this crow deck, I would have used this probably for justice, but this crow is got scales and it's got a fish, and it's dropping fish down to its friends, its family, or right. So it's that Six of Pentacles idea of resources that are available for food. If I were going to start a reading on why animals are moving to the outside, so this is a food resource, and the challenge is the Six of
Swords.
They're moving. They're moving away, right?
Well, they must be feeling some sort of energy. It may not be the big one, but there may be something else going on.
Above them is the Three of Cups, so there was enough water. Right? And the bottom, the Ten of Pentacles. So I think this is a water thing, or, it might be even like a flu thing. Yeah. In the past, the Page of Pentacles. So there was enough resources, maybe. Immediate future, Ace of Swords. Dehydration for why animals are moving to the outside.
I didn't see anything about an earthquake in those cards, though.
The last card would be Ace of Wands, and this is like they reach a new shoreline. Look, they're at they moved to the city. They're migrating.
They're migrating to the city. They probably want to be in a blue state.
I would. But it looks like it's just part of a process for them to kind of expand. They're like on a ridge here. I think it's about resources.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Yeah, and I don't know what kind of like snowpack they had and how much, how things are getting diverted.
Yeah, I went in plain blind there. That was not doing even Googling this. So I don't know. Kathleen O'Malley has an awesome question. What cards did you get for the Yellowstone?
The cards I pull look like, I swear to God, I know, I pulled them on Yellowstone, but I'm looking at the cards and I'm like, all right. So just keep in mind that this was a Yellowstone question.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So we start with. Oops, hold on. I don't want to. I don't want to shut myself off. I put everything on top of the computer, and then I end up shutting myself off. So we get the again water, right? The Knight of Cups,
Yeah.
crossed by the Devil.
Um,
So this is resources
yeah.
again, right? Resources.
Yes.
Underneath the Knight of Wands, which is traveling and moving. So that's them moving. In the past, the Four of Pentacles. Again, resources, right?
Hoarding resources.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the sky. Oh dear, what was in the sky? Hold on. I'm trying. Oh yeah. Um, so this is balance, stalemate, at a crossroads,
Yeah.
right? But in the immediate future, right? I get the Justice card, which is something's balancing out, right?
Yeah.
And then I get the Ace of Wands. That's how it's seen from the outside. The domestic situation, victory, hopes and fears, balancing, a balancing of maybe the resources, and the outcome, the Queen of Wands. This reading looks to me like, besides the Yellowstone, which makes sense, these cards also look like they're gonna talk about, more and more people are talking about what happened with the election. People are starting to talk about it now.
Finbar says, I'm sitting by the Yellowstone River right now, north of the park. I'll show you the comments. About 50 miles, things feel peaceful. I'm interested in how the word scales like stung my head. And I'm wondering if it's a problem with the fishing, overfishing. And maybe that is why they need to find resources, scales, fish.
Well, who knows? Who knows what the Trump administration is doing to our national parks? I'm sure they're doing a whole bunch of shit they ain't telling us about.
Yeah, I know. I know. I'm sure they are. What was the other question?
It was Trump's health,
I don't know.
but we talked about that, right?
We did. Yeah, about the colonoscopy. Somebody said they found something in the colonoscopy and it was his brain. Yes, that is very good.
But they found his head because he's got his head up his ass.
That's right.
You know what I used to say? He's got his head so far up his ass that if he farts, he's going to blow his brains out.
Oh my gosh. I think he just needs to plug it because of his problem.
His problem, his Ozempic problem.
You know what that might be, or it might be just plain old diverticulitis. God, my God, how irresponsible can you be? What an ethics violation. You could get in trouble for giving somebody that has diverticulitis that you know is going to make it worse. That's just, like, I think actually people it's very irresponsible how it's getting dosed out.
I'm doing a read on Trump. I'm doing a chakra read because sometimes that'll give you some health stuff. So I've already picked 4.
There we go.
What?
Here we go, honey. I'm sorry I interrupted you. Administration opened the National Marine Monument for commercial fishing. Oh, yeah. That's what it was. Thank you, MBH. From JB. J Cat Lady says, my pendulum says the orange thing will stroke. And the 4th week of August, I love that you're trying to math it. I'm trying to math it too.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, and one more. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 6. I need one more card. I'm not going to pick that one. All right. This is Trump. This is his root chakra. So he's all bound up.
Oh, yeah.
He's all bound up. He's all in fear. This is fear. This is
Ooh,
being trapped in hmm?
that stings.
Yeah, it's like being trapped in the what do you call of your mind, right? The trap
Yeah.
of your mind. This is his sacral chakra. Money,
Oh,
money, money. Of course, that's your sacral chakra is your desires, and so he just we know what he desires, right? This is his solar plexus. So this is connected to where his soul sits, 5 of Cups. So he's not very happy. He's not happy that things aren't
ooh.
happening the way he wants them. That he's getting blocked. He didn't think he'd get blocked. This is his heart.
There's dehydration there too. Oh, you stingy fart. Look at that.
Yep.
Just,
He's he's totally closed and he's completely connected to resources, money. It's just about money. There's just about money. His throat, defending his position, right? Injured but not giving
defensive.
up. Huh?
Yeah. Defensive.
Third eye, I think he sees justice coming. Or he might be obsessed with who are those guys? The Supreme Court. And then in his crown we have the Ace of Wands. So a new idea. And this card sits in the crown chakra. It's the Ace of it's I'm sorry, it's Leo. And of course Mars just went into Leo. And he has Mars in Leo. Netanyahu has Mars in Leo. Um, Vance has um, Venus in Leo, and Putin has Mars in Sag, but it's trine the other Marses.
Fire.
A lot of fire. A lot of fire.
Kathleen asked earlier, what is the impact? And I'm gonna, because I'm already got this in my part of my brain here. There we go. What is the impact of the nationwide rallies of the American on the American electorate? Okay.
What? I don't have any snacks. You have a beautiful face, though. He's like, I'm cute. Can I get a snack? Oh, wow. This is interesting. Oh, you farted. Do you have to go out? I can't call Michael. My phone is dead.
He's gonna be, he's hungry. Obviously, his intestines are moving.
Is that what's the matter? I might have to take him out, but I don't know if he gave. Hopefully, his leash is here. 'Cause I can't take him out without a leash. All right, let me keep doing this here. Okay, I'll be right there, baby. I'll let you know what. I'll let you do your cards, and then when I come back, but let me finish picking them. What was the question again? Oh,
What are the impact of the rallies
impact. Ooh.
on the electorate? I just love this. Okay.
Oh, wow.
I get the 5 of Air, but really interpret it. Look at the picture. So there's the gal at the rally there. Look at the White House in the background. My
Oh
God.
my God.
What are the impacts? 8 of Air.
Is that the Eight of Swords?
8 of Swords, 8 of Air. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're kind of it's a thought process that's like ruminating.
Yeah.
Good, ruminate. That's what we're doing it for. To the king, he hears you. He hears this. It's making an impact. This is the King of Swords, right? It's keeping him locked in his head. The world.
The end.
The end. Yeah. It is making an impact that it's coming at him and it's keeping him ruminating in that Eight of Swords thought process.
So I got the Seven of Swords. So they're seeing them getting robbed blind is really what
Voice.
it's like, right out in the open. They're thinking about what the future holds for young people, right? I think the value of the government, I think one of the things that it's the Hierophant. I think one of the things that people didn't appreciate up to this point was really how the government does work. It could work better. The reason the government doesn't work better is because the money doesn't go in the right places. But the government itself is a pretty good deal. The Eight of Swords seems to be the card of the day, right? And then, so this is people who are fearful, but they're using they're trying to get out of this by using their intuition. And then we get the Fool, a whole new thing, a leap of faith. It's a whole. So these rallies are changing everything. I mean, just if you watch Bernie and AOC, I was surprised at the stuff. And I've been a Bernie and AOC fan from day one. But the stuff that AOC was saying, like straight out, Trump's a criminal and this, that, and the other thing. And she was just saying, and I was like, whoa, I wasn't expecting her to be so direct, even though everything she said was true.
Yeah.
So I'm a little concerned for her, but hopefully she's well protected.
I know that repeatedly going and doing this thing and compromising your time, taking the time out, that it gets hard. It's like, and then you go back and you've skipped out on a Saturday and he does even more stupid shit the next week. But if you lose the momentum.
She was the first person to say anything. She was the first person to say, with Doge and all that stuff, she was the first person to come out. But, her moon's in Aries.
Yeah.
Her moon is at like 3 or 4 degrees of Aries. So Pluto is sextiling it, right? And we have Neptune is going to be on her moon soon. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm going to pick for her? I'm going to pick a Mystic Sister card for her.
JH said, my parents live in Montana and they voted for Felon 47. I think they're still in denial. Are they? I would love to almost talk to somebody that did, but I don't know if I can control myself.
Yeah.
Just want to know, I just out of the perspective of what is going on in your head now, right? Now that there was something, you're regretting something. Roxana says Saturn is supposed to go into Aries too. No, yes, it is going into Aries. Yeah. This is a card for DC. Good reactions. Oh, that's good. 4.
So I picked a Mystic Sister card for AOC, and I got Witch's Brew. And it says, cultivate, healing, and refine.
Yep.
The witch stirs her cauldron full of perfect healing herbs to cure anything that ails you. Her whole world is rich with resources. She has cultivated it all to concoct her potions. Throughout time and through extensive effort, she has developed skills, knowledge, and wisdom. The goddess is creative, industrious, versatile, and talented. It sounds just like her. She gives a centered feeling of well-being and a warmth of her fire. When this card is drawn, it is time to develop and refine your own qualities of consistency, attention, imaginative consideration. It is well worth knowing what you don't know and taking time to fill in the gaps of your knowledge of your chosen interest. So that's a really positive card for her. She has all those qualities. She's a very old soul. She
Yeah.
has she has like all master numbers in her chart. She's just so does actually what's his name, Vance, but he uses it for the
Oh,
evil.
that's because he's, you know,
Well, that's because
arrested development.
yeah, he's a wounded
Yeah.
child.
I got 6 of Cups,
Oh,
6 of Water for her. So
she's got protection.
she's
That
definitely
says to
being
me
guided.
she has a whole community around her.
She's
And
being guided. I think this is a good emotional development experience for her.
yeah.
And would she run in 2028? Kathleen O'Malley wants to know. I'm just gonna like pick up the deck and show it to you and see what it says. What does it say?
I can't read it. You're gonna have to read it to me.
It says 4 of Fire. That's the house. She might
Ooh,
some kind of run.
that's the Democrat card.
She might announce some kind of run. There
I
might be
got
something
I
that-
got the Page of Wands. This is who she reminds me of. She reminds me of either that or the Page of Swords. Sometimes she comes in as the Page of Swords. But this is the troublemaker.
yeah.
Actually, there's in the Toth deck. Do I have it?
And this experience is making her up from a page to a knight.
Yeah.
And she will be from a knight to a queen.
Right.
She's in the page portion, right? If you did her
Well,
Kabbalah,
I think she's in the knight portion. I think
she's in the knight.
she's reached the knight.
Okay.
But she was the page, and now she's the knight, and she's only going to get more powerful.
Yeah.
People like her. The youth likes her.
Yeah.
And that's the future. She is the future.
Yeah. Alexander says Vance has mommy issues.
And well, I think he has daddy issues.
Yeah, I know the mom thing is he really never got over. He never forgave his mother. He just felt abandoned. This is classic abandoned by mom kind of stuff.
And dad. His dad was not part of his life, I don't think. It was hurtful for him. He's had like 3 different names.
Yeah. And raised by a different generation, completely skipped a generation to raise him. So he's, probably what he feels and what he was taught to be valuable aren't the same thing. Yeah, Vladimir Futon. He's so gross.
He's just I don't know. Like, why would anybody want to be near him? It's beyond me. Too dangerous, man.
Many Montanans voted for a constitutional amendment to allow a woman to have an abortion up to 15 weeks. Thank you. It passed successfully. Thank you. Yet many residents voted for Trump as well. Yeah, 15 weeks is cool. That's fine.
Well, Montana is such a red state.
But you
It's
can't.
such a red state.
Some women don't even know they're pregnant until they're like 10 weeks, 8 weeks. Maybe tests are much more sensitive now.
They actually are, yeah.
Okay, so maybe they do know sooner, but
that's assuming you're paying attention and you have a regular period. If you have an irregular period, you may not know.
Yeah, you might not know. I had a regular period.
And you didn't know.
I had one we had 4 weeks. I had one at 8 weeks. And at 12 weeks, I'm like, that's where it's just like very weird, spotty, kind of interesting. I don't know what's going on, but it's kind of stopped. So I'm like, I wonder if I'm pregnant. But I went to the doctor. I was 12 weeks. I was 12 weeks when I got confirmation. I'm like, wow. Okay, well, that makes sense.
I guess you weren't paying too much attention.
I got the regular period. It just got lighter for like a month later, and then like 8 weeks, it was just like a regular, just got lighter until it stopped. So, yeah. I like AOC. Val's in advance says I like AOC and I'm old. I think the younger people need to and are ready to take the reins.
Yeah.
It's their future at stake. AOC, Maxwell Frost, the two Justins in Tennessee. And I think that, what generation is that? Pluto and Scorpio, or Pluto and Libra?
He's in AOC is Pluto and Scorpio. Maxwell Frost is Pluto and Sag. He was one of the Parkland kids.
Younger one. He's younger.
Hogue is Pluto and Sag. Those Pluto and Sag. What's his name? Mangione, Pluto and Sag.
Yeah. I know all the shooters are Pluto and Sag.
Well, it started in Pluto and Scorpio, the shooters. Anyway, Columbine, the shooters were Pluto and Scorpio. That's really what started it, kind of.
Yeah.
Columbine thing. And it's been how many years now? It was 1995, I think. So 30 years ago?
30 years.
So for 30 years, we've been watching our children get mowed down by
yeah, nothing changed.
Semi-automatic weapons.
Oh my gosh.
It's going to change. I'm telling you. I'm going to change. And these are the kids who have been shot at. So they're going to change things. They're like, F this, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Jay Cat Lady said in the 70s, I told the doctor I was pregnant. He said, no, not a month later. I told him. And a month later, finally, after about 4 months, he said, yes, I know. Things were different. And, you know, there are people that have like a regular cycle on the other side of their, you know, the eggs go, they alternate. So you can have a regular cycle. Some people don't know. Somebody asked about Stefanik in New York governor. Do you want to pull cards on Stefanik?
Yeah, sure. I can't stand that. I can't stand that. I would call her a witch, but most of my best friends are witches. So I would call her something else, but that would be inappropriate and unprofessional.
I don't even know what she looks like. I'm not paying.
That's all right. That's right.
Her
husband's job is to figure out how to sell more guns, more semi-automatic. He works for one of the companies that does that. I don't know.
So Val wants to know if Pluto in Aquarius helps these people, that these Pluto in...
Well, certainly the Pluto in Sag, it's sextiles.
Yeah.
The Pluto in Scorpios, it's a square. But like that kind of stuff is age-related, really. Although it's maybe happening a little sooner with the Scorpios. I don't know. Because Pluto has such a what do you call, you know, it spent 11 years in Scorpio and 32 in Taurus. What were we asking? See, this is the problem.
Stefanik.
Right. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, good. Oh, Jesus. These people. These people.
There's interference. There's interference, and she is really not up for this.
I get. Did you?
Go ahead.
I got the Queen of Wands, and then Strength. So those are positive, but then I get the Seven of Swords and the Seven of Wands. There maybe something comes out
in July
about lying or something, and then I get the Eight of Wands, something coming quickly.
Oh, you got Seven of Cups. So,
oops. Woo! It must be Taurus and gravity.
So there's some shenanigans. Seven of Cups, Seven of Swords, Seven of Cups.
Yeah.
There's some shenanigans.
Liar, liar, pants on fire. That's what that says to me. I think it'll come out.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody has something on her. I'm sorry.
Nine of air was the bottom line. So there was a lot of anxiety, but the ones that came up before that were kind of close to the other ones with interference from the King of Swords here. Curiosity. She's not up for this. She's not up for this. Running. Here she is running.
I guess it depends on who else is going to run.
And doubt. Then I get the 9 of air. Like there's 4 of fire. So
That
maybe
could be.
announcement her. And she is petrified. She's petrified of something. Of finding out that you're cheating, maybe. Of something happened to get her in there, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, it's possible. Hochul is not a strong candidate, I don't think. She had an opportunity to do a power play and she chose not to, and I can't even remember what it was, but it had something to do with Trump. But you know who is going after? Letitia James does not have any fear.
Good for her.
And she's one of the few people to have gotten Trump. I'm sure he can't stand her.
You know what? It is actually 7:20. I didn't even really realize we kind of ran over, and I know it's about to be a holiday for which you at least should take some time to reflect on. To me, it feels like so much like a kid's holiday. Easter, it's Good Friday that gives me the chills and always will.
Yeah, I didn't call her a witch. I wanted to call her a biatch. Because I'm a witch, and Ona's a witch, and all my friends are witches.
Yeah. But we're good ones.
Well, there's only one kind of witch as far as I know.
Yeah. All right, you guys, we're going to go. I think it's 7:20.
It is 7:22 here. 8:22 here, actually.
And your weekend, and have a good Easter. Well, I'll be back tomorrow morning with giblets for Sunday morning with giblets. I'm just going to point the camera right at him, and you can see what I'm looking at over here. I guess his tummy is full. Let me see if I push down. There he is, down there.
Sound asleep, full of treats, and sound asleep.
Sound asleep and full of treats. I hope your night is as peaceful as if you never had a bad day.
Right.
Look at that. Like
he not allow anybody to take your joy away.
He never had a bad day, and I hope that your weekend is the same. We'll see you tomorrow morning when he has some other kind of crisis going on. I'm sure. As per usual.
All right, guys. Take care, everyone. Be careful out there. Enjoy your life. Do the best you can. Do the best you can.